Barcelona when playing their greatest rivals. And if he would be the man who could score the fifth, well, you can imagine he'll be a happy camper tonight come the final whistle. The ball played back to Diego Lopez, who sends it high and long. That's flicked on brilliantly towards Borja by Leo Baptistao, but Semedo clearing up. Finds Busquets.
Piqué's been pretty prolific this season, and maybe he's waiting for another 12 minutes, which would be the exact replica of how he scored in this fixture last season in the pouring rain, a very heated match. He and Gerard Moreno started their feud, then Piqué rescued the point late on, 8 minutes left. As you point out, maybe he's got something left up his sleeve tonight.
Baptistao back to Marc Roca. Lopez. Roca again. David Lopez to Duarte. Sergi Darder headed away towards Busquets by Alba. Coutinho, neat skills from him. One back by Sergio Garcia. Messi crowded out by Darder and Duarte. And now Messi chasing for it. Baptistao. Roca. Sergi Darder. Didac. Semedo didn't know too much about that. Gerard Piqué with the challenge. And it's a free kick to Espanyol. And we're going to see Esteban Granero, who will be the third and final change for Rubi. There's one player in that Espanyol side who probably you could have expected Piqué to have a little bit of differences of divergence of opinion with. It might have been Victor Sanchez.
Without any question.
And he's won the free kick. Sergio Garcia looking on with determination as he prepares to take this. Only Leo Messi in the wall. Sergio Garcia to the far post, and consolation for the Budgies. Cause at last for the home fans to get off their feet and have a cheer. Oscar Duarte getting on the end at the far post. It's a well-taken free kick by Sergio Garcia, but Graham Hunter. Barca's defending of this kind of set piece has been woeful all season, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. Any ball into the box effectively has left them struggling. You'll see Suarez furious that Vidal wasn't covering there. Stegen chose not to come. I think it's probably the right choice by the German. But I need to see two things rather than simply be critical of Football Club Barcelona. Number one, in its own way, this free kick is as good as what we saw from Leo Messi.
Sure.
He puts it absolutely on a plate for Duarte. And Duarte's reach and his control of the ball, rather actually reminiscent of Javi Sanchez for Real Madrid in midweek in the Cup. Del Cerro Grande being advised from Las Rosas about the offside decision. I would have said, I don't know your judgment, I would have said that the examination is probably going to tell us, as we look at Darder having been replaced by Granero the Pirate, that Duarte was in line. I thought the ball was perfect. I thought that the defender timed his run absolutely spot on. Del Cerro Grande is receiving information from the VAR experts in Las Rosas in Madrid.
Mentions to the players that he's well aware of the time it's taking. I've got my doubts about this one, Graham.
You think he encroached?
I think he might have just encroached. I mean, it's such a tight call. But the video-assisted referee will clear things up for us.
Duarte's with you. Somebody said, were you on? And he just went in his head like that. I'm not sure. I think he just backed you there.
Let's have a look. The goal is under review. Tense moments, Duncan, as we await the chance of celebrating this or showing our disappointment if we're home fans in the RCD Stadium.
To be honest, I don't think too many of them are holding out hopes that they can get back into this game.
No, I'm sure.
Even when the goal went in, the fans around me were just sort of waving their arms. They didn't actually even get up off their seats. So it's been a disappointing night. This would be an even more disappointing end to it if this goal didn't stand. And I agree with everything Graham said. The ball from Sergio Garcia is absolutely phenomenal, so hard to defend against, and it's easy to criticise Barca in these situations, but that ball's just perfect.
Yeah.
And actually the finish from a centre-back, Oscar Duarte, to get his foot up to that and knock it into the back of the net, right in the top corner as well, beyond Ter Stegen, was phenomenal. Will it stand or not? Well, that's the big question, and we're waiting to find out, and still no answer from the referee.
VAR decision, offside, no goal given, just to rub salt into the already open wound of these Espanyol fans. I think if that's the moment, he's just offside, maybe his arm, maybe his shoulder. Very, very tight. But I mean, you know, that is really like saying, hey, you may be on a 4-day holiday, but we're going to make you suffer tonight. And the Espanyol fans who've made it to the stadium, as we pointed out, 24,000 of them in a 40,000-seater ground. Well, even the consolation prize taken away from them by the video-assisted referee.
It genuinely is a lucky white heather moment. How's your luck?
Borja battling for this one, brings it down. Semedo goes flying. Rakitic back to Clement Lenglet, who clears. Lenglet happy just to boot that one out of the danger zone. Well, I think that was one of the longer waits I can recall for verification from the VAR. Once we saw it again, I had it fairly clear that it looked very, very tight indeed.
Well, we've been such fans of VAR in itself, the justice it imparts, how it's worked, the regularity with which we applaud the decisions, even though they get to look at it with computer-aided help. You and I have commentated so many games this season where it's brought justice back into focus, and therefore it did take a long time, but I won't be a critical voice based on that. It's been a gigantic success. I'd go so far as to say it's made football more enjoyable.
Well, I mean, surely the point is that if you can guarantee that the right call is going to be made, then the longer it takes, it's because it's a tight decision and they want to be absolutely certain.
Well, look,
that sums up why we have the VAR.
Well, and look what's been happening with La Liga and Spain having set the way, real pace setters across Europe. England is following suit. The Copa del Rey will have VAR after the next knockout round. Champions League is introducing it, having watched how well it's gone in La Liga. It really is a flag of pride for La Liga in the way that it's been implemented and the effect it's having not just on the games we've been commentating on, but on the rest of the leagues, the rest of the competitions around Europe.
Suarez combining superbly with Vidal, quick to find Leo Messi. Messi gets away from the first challenge by Didac, who sees a yellow card, and it will be another free kick. Duncan, this one is considerably further away. He can't make it a hat-trick of free kicks, surely.
I don't think so. This one really is too far. It is Leo Messi we're talking about. No, but I think it's too far, and it's Didac who goes into the book for that challenge. He's been so frustrated. He's been right in front of me this entire second half, and I've just been watching him waving his arms around, frustrated as so often Diego Lopez boots the ball clear and doesn't find him on the wing. So it's been a really frustrating 45 minutes for Didac Villa, summed up by that challenge on Leo Messi, who just scampered away from him.
Well, Luis Suarez has been replaced by Munir El Haddadi. Graham Hunt, you've got a theory about how Leo Messi might work this free kick, and the man who might want to get on the end of it. Rakitic. That one bobbles harmlessly over the bar. Rakitic appealing for a corner. Duncan, we're seeing images of Luis Suarez in the dugout. He looks to be suffering. He seems to be in some kind of pain, and he was struggling to get off the pitch, wasn't he?
He wasn't, and let's not forget that he missed the last 3 games Barca have played in 3 different competitions: Champions League, Copa, and in La Liga against Villarreal. So he's probably still struggling a little bit from that injury.
Here's Coutinho. It's blocked by Borja Iglesias, who wins the throw-in for Espanyol. I must admit, I've been really impressed by the effort put in by Borja in his opening 80 minutes.
Gigantic learning experience for him. It's the toughest game he's ever faced. playing face-to-face with a World Cup winner, watching Messi and Suarez at the other end. Borja will have noted there was Suarez, I think, playing through a pain. He often has his hand bandaged. I think he took a knock on the hand. His knee is being rested and protected for the remaining 10 minutes of the game, but it's still 9 goals in 12 games against Espanyol for this guy who scores no matter how he's feeling, no matter how he's playing. That's the one thing that we will wait to see from this Gallego, Borja, whether he can add that little bit to his game about scoring no matter how he's playing, because he's impressed all of us with his attitude, and today, as you say, with his industry too.
Well, that was a risky one from Semedo. It's collected by Baptistao, blocked by Clement Lenglet. Another corner for Espanyol. Just seemed to be a lack of belief there from Baptistao. It was a risky ball from Semedo. Granero takes the corner short, gets it back from Sergio Garcia. Garcia with a lovely cross. It's greeted right on top of the penalty spot by Victor Sanchez. His header, though firmly struck, was narrowly off target.
Barca very slow to come out. When this ball's put back into Sergio Garcia, they should all have taken a huge step up. Ter Stegen trying to claim for an offside that he didn't call. You want to hear him shouting fuera, the word fuera in Spanish, demanding that his backline moves up at least a metre. They didn't do it, hence the header, which should and could have been on target.
Well, Ivan Rakitic is going to be Barca's third and final substitution. Duncan, is that Dennis I can see?
It is, yes. Denis Suarez, who's had limited minutes in La Liga. He played in the Cup, though, during the week and put in a magnificent performance, arguably Barca's best player. So he's earned a few minutes today after that fantastic performance in the Copa del Rey.
We're into the last 10 minutes. There will be time added, especially due to the substitutions and that VAR decision to disallow what would have been a consolation goal for Espanyol. It's blocked by Jordi Alba, throw in to Espanyol. Busquets angling the header towards Dennis. He couldn't connect with Messi. Inside, Borja, little touch to Sergio Garcia, who's just really bullied off the ball by Gerard Piqué. Semedo back to Ter Stegen. Lenglet to Alba. Alba over the top. And a chance on the break perhaps for Barcelona. Coutinho's got Munir to his left. Here's Leo Messi. Now Denis Suarez. Messi stopping still, looking at Suarez. Suarez wins a corner for Barcelona.
A couple of goals for Suarez in the midweek, after which he said, listen, I'm not happy at Football Club Barcelona. Time and time again he's turned moves down. He's actively said, I will stay and fight for my place. He's had barely any minutes until the big win over Cultural Leonesa in the Cup. He's on here now, but you wouldn't expect him to be at Barcelona after the winter market.
Coutinho. Busquets. Jordi Alba. Back to Denis Suarez. Suarez taking on Baptistao. Gets the cross in to the far post where it's collected by Munir El-Hadidi. Puts it back. Vidal was up for it. Lenglet was up for it. Borja clears it. Sergio Garcia chasing. Advantage Jordi Alba.
Vidal went so high with that huge hang there. I thought that he was going to bang his head off one of the spotlights. That was a huge leap and hang. Basketball style.
Alba back to Ter Stegen. And the stadium, from this side anyway, looking a little bit depressing as the home fans move towards the exits. Can't say you blame them really. 4-0 down against the old enemy, but still pushing to get some consolation if they can. Baptistao. Esteban Granero combining with the Hispano-Brazilian, who tries a looping effort, not too far away.
What Ruby will worry about is that his side has been clinically taken apart, even though they've been 6.5, 7 out of 10, the majority of those in blue and white, and this is the 12th goal that they've conceded at 4-0 down. If there are no more, 12 goals in the last 4 games. An awful record for a side which was challenging for the top 4 position not that long ago.
Granero with a corner to the near post. It's headed clear. Alba to Leo Messi. Messi looking for Piqué. Piqué got his head to it. Here's Denis Suarez. He wins a free kick. Coutinho lurking over it.
Piqué lurking over the penalty spot. And just as you pointed out, as mad keen as Gerard Piqué, who's got this avowed dislike of Espanyol, is to score, Espanyol's player and Diego Lopez will be as keen to prevent him from doing so and add the manita, the fifth, the 5 fingers of a hand that you hold up, as you say, if you've got 5 against a rival. Piqué scoring that goal would be the last ignominy for them tonight.
Free kick swung and it was so nearly Vidal. And Munir on the far post. Another tremendous leap from Arturo Vidal. Just couldn't quite make contact with Coutinho's swirling ball into the box. Roca returns it to Diego Lopez. 3.5 minutes left on the clock. Sergio Garcia finds his way out of that situation very nicely. It's floated over the top. Baptistao and Borja to attack it. And Espanyol win another corner.
Yeah, and another little incidence of communication lacking in that what Stegen had to be saying to Alba there was, I will come and claim this, do not touch it.
Marc Roca puts the ball back into the area. Busquets heads clear. He does well, wins a free kick in the end. But there was no way he was going to let that ball be pulled off his boot. And there's the VAR image, very tight indeed. The arm
with which you can't score it.
Because I'm assuming it's the shoulder.
VAR has ruled, and I just don't take back it. It's been such a boon, so impressive, so smooth and so accurate this season. I won't take issue with it. And you pointed out, it took them so long to decide.
Because it's clearly an incredibly tight decision.
Absolutely so. But on a night when nothing's gone right for poor old Ruby and Espanyol, maybe instinctively, as you pointed out, maybe you just knew that it was going to be ruled out.
Well, it's a free kick now for Espanyol. Sergio Garcia brought down by Arturo Vidal. Another opportunity here for the Budgies to maybe get one back.
Spot on, obviously, by Del Cerro Grande. The referee's had a super night tonight. Imposed his authority, made his decisions correctly. He's easily one of Spain's elite.
Well, I'll tell you what, going into the game, especially last weekend when we saw former Espanyol player Gerard Moreno facing up on several occasions to Gerard Piqué, I think a lot of us expected a feistier derby than this. But Duncan, actually it's been played in a very sporting fashion, hasn't it? Played at 100%, but we haven't seen any of what they call tanganas, haven't seen too many handbags so far this evening, fortunately.
I think that's because the game has been taken away from Barca very early.
Granedo's free kick put in there. Leo Baptistao getting the final touch, but the ball just looping safely into Marc-Andre ter Stegen's hands. It is true, 17 minutes Messi's first game. 9 minutes after that they were 2-0 up. And right on the stroke of half-time, the third, which was like a dagger to the Espanyol heart, really. So, yeah, you're probably right, Duncan. Here's Coutinho. Munir. Busquets to Alba. The possession has changed tremendously, dramatically, to 47-53 overall. So Espanyol clearly enjoying more of the ball in this second half, as Barca have been able to take the foot off the pedal a little bit. Coutinho dispossessed by Granero. Duarte. Granero. Sergio Garcia, it somehow came through to Borja. 5 minutes have been added. There's Didac. Victor Sanchez. Sergio Garcia, a Messi-esque ball. Cut back, Alba-esquely, and Borja's shot is blocked by Nelson Semedo. Didac loses his balance, goes in firmly, and was it Busquets he clattered into? No, Vidal was down.
It was, but Vidal went down in tackling Longley originally, tried to get up. When he saw the ball going wide, he collapsed down again in awful pain. And it's not this incident here, it's way before that. In fact, Vidal is already down here. What you're going to see is the ball comes in, as you point out, is a block. Now, it's this instance, yeah. It's as he slides in, and he tackled everybody else in the pitch, so why wouldn't he start tackling one of his own? And Longley doesn't see him coming, stamps on the inside of his thigh, just underneath the knee that has troubled him so badly over the latter 2 years of his career. At Bayern Munich, it was knee trouble that was always the problem. And once Vidal made his peace with Valverde about some certain things he said in social media, when he said, listen, I'm fine, and he began to play well, in fact, beginning with the first tie against Cultural Leonesa in the cup when they won 1-0 away, it was then he said, listen, my knee's fine, I want more time because my knee is fine. There's the point you made about Busquets taking some studs into the ribs. But
Graham, that's an astonishing level of intensity from Vidal with the 90 minutes up when you're 4-0 up. Why on earth would he slide him to make that challenge?
I think honestly, having watched him throughout his career, there are two things. His nature.
Yeah.
He is a beastly competitor. And secondly, he wants to stay in this team. He has realised in a way that Zlatan didn't, that wanting to be in a successful Barcelona team and what you have to do to be in it and then stay in it are two completely different things. You don't win your starting place on reputation, on salary, on previous trophies. It's about hard work and intelligence. He's conquered that, and that's why he doesn't want to give his place up.
Duncan, both Vidal and Busquets back onto the pitch, neither of them showing too many signs of being in physical difficulties there.
No, especially Arturo Vidal, who really sprinted back onto the field of play, and Graham mentioned his dodgy knee, and obviously there had been a few Barca fans slightly worried when they saw Vidal go down, because he did go down in pain, but he looks absolutely fine.
Brilliance from Messi, a little flick on to Alba from Coutinho. Alba finds a way to get the ball in, but Sergio Garcia just seems to know better than any of the other Espanyol players where the danger is and where the final ball's going. It's been a nice little cameo from Sergio Garcia.
Without question, his quality is exceptional, and he's one of these unflusterable players. It doesn't matter if he comes on at 0-0, 1-0 up, 4-0 down. He will demonstrate his ability, he will use his experience, and he'll, as Duncan pointed out, he will show us why he's been one of the cracking players of La Liga in the last 10 or 12 years.
Victor Sanchez with a cross. It's blocked first by Busquets, then by Piqué. Piqué sprinting forward. He wants his goal. He wants Barca's fifth. Won't get it with a pass like that. Ball goes all the way through to Marc-Andre ter Stegen. A minute and a half to go. It's Espanyol 0, Barcelona 4. It's going to be the fourth defeat on the bounce in La Liga for Espanyol, who on a couple of occasions have gone into their games in these opening months of the season knowing that a win would take them top of the table, but these four defeats are a heavy penalty for them really in a Liga with so many teams dropping points. They've now dropped out of the European places. Piqué with some neat footwork wins a free kick. Free kick committed by Victor Sanchez.
Ex-teammates, Victor Sanchez was saying goodbye just as Piqué was arriving in the Guardiola era, and each of them knew what they were doing, and Gerard Piqué knew exactly what was coming.
Piqué to take the free kick, floating one in towards Munir El Haddadi. Semedo doing well to find Dennis. Dennis getting away from the challenges of Didac and Sergio Garcia. He's got Munir to his right. Here's Munir El Haddadi. Munir gets it onto his right foot. Brilliantly defended in the end by Oscar Duarte. He may have been disappointed in seeing his goal disallowed, but he prevented Barca scoring the fifth then. Didac. just seconds to go, Duncan. There aren't too many Espanyol fans still around, really, are there?
No, there's not. You're right. Probably about half the Espanyol fans that were here have left. Bitterly disappointed with the form of their side, but I don't think anyone can't be impressed with the way Barca have played today. As disappointed as they'll be with their own team, you have to respect Barca. You have to respect the performance that Leo Messi's put in, and above all, you just have to sort of bow down to those two incredible free kicks. I don't think I've ever been in the stadium and seen two such good free kicks in the same game. And I'm sure a lot of the Espanyol fans, will be leaving here thinking exactly that.
Well, thanks very much for your comments from pitch side tonight, Duncan. It's going to end with this free kick committed by, who else? Arturo Vidal. But there won't be time for any more. We're already 52 seconds past that 95-minute mark. Graham Hunter, a quick summary from you for what's happened as the ball put into the box. Sergio Garcia controlling, blocked by Muniro Haddadi, and there's the final whistle.
Ruthless and brilliant, a performance of champions, a performance not just of champions-elect this year, but people who have been champions in competitions all throughout their careers, came here with one clear idea: to win, to impose themselves, and to entertain us. They did all of those.
Thanks very much, Graham. Thanks very much, Duncan. Final score here.